I did a vision board, first getting into the vibration of just feeling excited about what I wanted, then chose the images. It was on relationship. I joined eHarmony, which I said I would never do. Met a man within 2 days, and we conversed for like 2 months. It was the one. It was like every night talking. Oh, we're so excited. Relationship beyond this lifetime even. Who knows what's next? We're just so excited. And he comes to visit me, and all of a sudden I'm focusing on what I don't want. And I'm feeling scared, and I'm feeling guarded. And I can see myself doing it. Then he goes away, goes back home. We had a great time anyway, despite that. He goes back home, and then all of a sudden I'm wanting him again. I'm feeling that connection. And then he started pulling back, and I started pulling back. And so what I'm asking is, why would I be self-protecting? This is what I want.
Well, there's something more that we want to talk about first, and bring us back around to that precise question if you're not satisfied by the time we finish this little piece. But there's something bigger that we want to address first, and that is this explanation of what you've just lived is a really good example of predominantly having feeling responses to what you are observing.
Yes.
So on the one hand, we want to say to you, you did a little bit of filling in your own grid, just with the action that you took of doing the thing online and letting the computers match you up in terms of other observations that you've been making. In other words, there's not a better search engine than your own vortex, because you put those characteristics into the vortex incrementally over a lot of living of life, and they are precise. They are precisely what you want.
Yeah.
And there is a version of you in a relationship that is precisely what you want. And ask some other search engine. Now, we're not saying that people aren't finding harmony in those kinds of situations. We're not suggesting that there is any behavior that is inappropriate, but we are saying to you that your vibration was not in alignment with what you want before you took the action that gave you a vibrational match to the frequency that you were offering, not to the frequency that you want to offer. In other words, you got what you've got going on vibrationally. You didn't get what's in your vortex. Are you hearing the difference? And the reason that you didn't get what's in your vortex is because what's in your vortex and what you're consistently offering vibrationally are not yet one and the same thing. They will be. So you have an experience like this, and isn't that telling you about that more than anything else?
Yes.
So now that question, what it was a very well worded question. What was it? Can you bring it up again?
Why would I be self-protecting? Why would I be stopping what I want?
Why am I self-protecting? Why protecting from
what?
From what I don't want.
Yeah,
protecting from what I don't want.
Yeah.
But isn't the answer to that question obvious in light of what we just talked about? You see, people frequently will say something to us, something like, Abraham, I cannot believe that law of attraction really works the way you say it does, because I don't think I would do that to myself. If I want one thing, why would I get another? If I'm the creator of my own reality, why am I creating things that I don't want?
Well, and I know it does work that way.
And we say, you are the creator of your own reality, but not because of the things that you say, but because of the things that you're offering vibrationally.
Right.
So this is what we were talking about just before segment of refreshment. If you're wise enough to have an experience which is a manifestational evidence of what you've got going on vibrationally in relationship to what you really want. So if you're wise enough to notice that the outcome was not pleasing, then are you wise enough to notice that there was something going on vibrationally before that outcome came?
Yes.
So then doesn't that answer that question in a very powerful way?
Yes. And
in other words, so now hasn't the question changed? Isn't the question more like, what can I do to vibrate more in keeping with my vortex and less in keeping with my habit of thought.
Exactly.
And we say, by experiences like this, by having an experience and saying, well, it was close, but it was off.
Yeah.
And I don't want to settle for something less than who I am or what I want, but I also don't want to let something into my experience. I don't have to accept a manifestation that's not perfect. That's a really good mantra. Yeah. I don't have to accept a manifestation that's not perfect, but the perfection of my manifestations is something that's going to continue to evolve. So if it's way, way off, you want to do more vibrational work. That's all.
Yeah, and that would be my question. Like when I am looking at reality, so-called reality in front of me right now, and I'm seeing evidence for things that I don't want, that I am blowing into.
But what else are you seeing evidence of? I'm seeing evidence of what I don't want, and also evidence of something that's active in my vibration.
Yes, something that I've been carrying with me in a pattern thought, a habit of thought, and I'm wanting to know how to ease out of that. How is that habit of thought within me? Have I been saying, universe, bring me this aspect that I don't want? Have I been looking at things unwanted and saying, give me more of that, please? That's not how it's happening, is it? No.
So how is it happening? Don't give me that. Don't want that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that.
Right.
Sure don't want that. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Don't want any more of that. Really don't want that.
Guard
don't
against
want that. Don't.
Yeah.
Protect me from that.
Yeah.
Guard me from that.
Yeah.
Don't want that.
Yeah.
That's how you keep it active in your vibration.
So
by
if
your
I know
attention to the spit on the sidewalk.
Yeah. So if it's me that's doing that,
yeah,
and I know it's not about him.
No, say it this way. Since it's me that's doing that, not if.
Okay, since it's me.
Since it's me that's doing that, then I can stop doing it.
And how? Right in the moment.
By doing something else.
Yes.
By doing something else. But here, you've said something perfect at the perfect point here in this conversation. At the moment, in the moment, in the moment. Rather than trying to turn it around in the middle of the awareness that you have manifested something that you don't want. Rather than, in other words, we've teased, I've fallen out of an airplane. It's at 50,000 feet. I have no parachute. Abraham, what do you suggest that I do? And we say, hang on, it'll be over soon. Because there's not a whole lot you can do in the middle of that kind of momentum. Well, we want to liken that analogy to every uncomfortable moment, because there's not a lot you can do in the midst of that kind of momentum.
Yeah.
So what's happening is you've got a grid that you've been practicing that is filling in, and if you think in your mind that the grid filling in is a momentum. In other words, it's the momentum of what you've been thinking. It's the momentum of the vibrational patterning that you've got going on.
Yeah.
So as you acknowledge that this is what you've had going on, and you acknowledge that there is a certain momentum, don't try to do anything right now in this red hot minute. There's momentum that's going to carry the day, and the best you'll do is struggle. The best you'll do is effort. The best you'll do is get tired, and the best you'll do is question, and the best you'll do is self-doubt. So really, we mean it. Just go with it. It'll be over soon. But then, once that momentum subsides, and it will, and you're having another reflective moment, like now, or like when you wake up in a new day, now start different momentum. In other words, what we're really saying here, and we're going to put it in very precise terms, create in advance. Create by pre-paving. Don't try to create what you want in the middle of the momentum of what you don't want. It never ever works.
No.
But in the middle of the momentum of what you don't want, something wonderful is happening. Stuff's going into the vortex. Rockets of desire are going in there. So it's not a lost moment. It's not a wasted moment. It's a productive moment. It's a moment of sifting and deciphering and concluding and coming to conclusions. It's part of the creative process. But just don't try to fill in your own grid. Say, my work is to prepare myself, to make myself ready for what's in the grid, what's in the vortex waiting for me. My work is to prepare myself, to make myself ready to make myself ready.
Yeah.
So that means you can't talk about the aspects that you didn't like anymore.
Oh, yeah.
You can't beat up on yourself for attracting that.
Yeah.
In other words, Jerry offered a phrase to Esther almost every day. And she liked it so much, and we like it too, because it really speaks to what we're talking about here. We're just molding it into place. We're just molding it into place.
Easy.
There's no moment of perfection ever. We're just molding it into place. And since we are creators and we like molding, then isn't it all just perfect? Isn't it perfect when it's not quite right? Isn't it perfect when it becomes more right? Isn't it perfect when it's not right enough that it launches a big desire? Isn't it perfect when it's almost right and it launches a little desire? Isn't it perfect when you can feel that you're not quite in alignment? Isn't it perfect when you feel that you're more in alignment? So we want you to just not be so hot on the idea of the manifestation coming now, and enjoy more the process.
Yeah.
You see. You do.
I do.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks.